Hi guys, today I want to talk about keeping up appearances. And I was recently watching a Slavoj Žižek lecture where he was speaking about an interaction that he had with a colleague, a fellow academic, where essentially he had in his way jokingly insulted a colleague of his, and who didn't take it as a joke, took it the wrong way. The next day he calls her to apologize, to ostensibly to apologize. And the interaction goes, and I'm sure you've experienced this before, someone apologizes to you, so Žižek apologizes to his colleague, who promptly says, "It's okay, Slavoj, you don't need to apologize." And it got me thinking, okay, why do we have to keep this appearance up? Why is it that, let's say, if somebody has wronged us, if somebody has really, gotten under our skin, said something that we don't appreciate it, more often than not, people will decide to bury it, use it as a subconscious marker, but then not only that, but reassure the other person that no, they don't need to apologize, it's not a problem. And this is something that I've been wrestling with recently. It's by saying that the apology is not necessary when it clearly is, the true honest thing to do would be to say, you know what, I didn't appreciate the way that you spoke with me. You should apologize. And then, yes, of course, either I accept your apology or I don't accept your apology. And then we can move forward there and forge, another path in the relationship that we both have. But what really, the insulted party is well within the right to do that. And of course, the person who does the insulting is obligated to apologize. I mean, it's good manners after all. But this is just a pure ideological game that we play, in the sense where ideology obfuscates, the truth behind the world, right? It adds, another layer onto reality that masks the truth, which is, obviously the aggrieved feeling between the two parties. And honestly, I think it's really stupid that we do this. I think it's really dishonest. I think that ultimately we're more often than not, we're too scared of confrontation. And even if that confrontation is standing up for yourself, when you are justified to stand up for yourself, if that makes sense. I do like that Žižek brings this up, because it does identify, that you can extrapolate this ideological game where, you both know that something is wrong, but you lie to each other about a certain thing. Like I watched the opening match of the World Cup, Qatar versus Ecuador. Now, we all know that Qatar has nothing to do, they're absolutely terrible at football or soccer for the North Americans. They're terrible at it. They had zero infrastructure for it beforehand, whereas Ecuador does have, a relatively storied history in the sport. Ecuador ends up winning 2-0, but it's this game that we play that, wherein we know that Qatar, has nothing to do, has next to nothing to do with football. The Qataris know, oh yes, we're terrible as well. They also know that we know that they're terrible at the sport, and yet we have to keep up this appearance that, oh yes, we have to keep the World Cup here. And I'm not going to get into the whole, the migrant crisis or the migrant worker crisis and the human rights aspects of there, which in and of itself is grounds to move the cup out. But just that ideological game is really interesting to me. Compromise only works when both parties are satisfied. Otherwise, there's always going to be some type of resentment that's bubbling underneath, and it's always going to end up badly. It's always going to, devolve into some sort of a relationship cancer. Something that it's something that we bank and say, okay, that's a red flag for that person. We'll know better for next time, rather than confronting the problem then and there. Like the example with somebody insults you and you say, and they try to apologize, and then you say, no, you don't have to apologize. No, I think that if we do this for the sake of keeping up appearances, then to hell with the appearance. We need to look ourselves starkly in the mirror and say, you know what? We should hold ourselves to a higher standard, and we should hold the people around us to a higher standard as well. Let's be more honest with each other. The next time this happens, next time it happens to me, I'm not going to say, no, don't worry about it. And I've started doing it myself because really it is an interesting concept, and I want to see how it shakes out, spice it up a little bit. But I encourage you all to do the same thing as well. So please let me know in the comments below. Has this ever happened to you? If so, what were the results? Is this something you think about as well? Either way, feel free to drop a comment and like the video. And as always, thank you so much for watching.